Hello, everybody, and welcome back. It is time for ECL 22. Our winter season is just about ready to begin. My name is Doogie, of course, and I am once again joined by, for yet another season, my broadcast partner, Mr. Sin for the win. Sin, we are back another season. I mean, granted, some things have changed, but still beyond excited to see how everything's going to play out this year.
Yeah, don't you mean Granite? Because that's who we got in this first matchup. Granite Gaming, the rebrand is here. More and more teams picking up those sponsorships, professional representation as well. ECL is only getting bigger from here. The stakes are only getting higher, and I can't wait to see how this season unfolds.
Absolutely. Today we have a head-to-head matchup between two different head-to-head matchups between four of the best teams in this elite division. We will kick things off today with the newly rebranded Granit Gaming, as Sin pointed out. They'll be taking on Färjestad, a matchup that has a lot of interesting implications to it based off of some of our off-season moves. And of course, our second matchup today will be Havu and Goons, two teams that made the playoffs last year. Havu, former champions, Goons hoping to get their name into that conversation this year. So again, we are back for yet another season. I alluded towards it. It is our winter season. Of course, the new format here for the Elite Division. We have our winter season, our spring season, and we'll have one grand champion at the end of all of this. And Sid and I will be here along for the ride with you all as we go through this new format. Of course, I want to mention right off the top of this show, though, of course, Sin and I are back. We're not the only ones that are back. A big thank you to Wilhelm and Kovalan Lakritzi for sponsoring this season as well. ST Hockey, X-Bill also along for the ride. A big thank you to them for helping make this season what I am sure is going to be one to remember. But Sin, with that, let's get everyone a look at the standings, despite the fact that there have been 0 games played so far this season, just to get you guys a look at, of course, who has made it here as you get a look at the projected standings. Of course, based upon our captain's poll, the little preview video that you guys may have seen at the very start of this broadcast. These are the projected standings as according to the captain of the 16 squads. Of course, everyone filled out a little anonymous, a little bit of an anonymous voting deal, and we'll see just how likely this is to come true. But of course, a lot of different changes. Sawo Esports, not quite the same Sawo that we had previously. And of course, as Sin mentioned, you have the likes of Granite, Frolunda, Orabro joining in on the sponsorships. And I mean, the Elite Division just keeps getting bigger and better.
It absolutely does, and with all the talent that's here right now, with the representation, as we mentioned, of new sponsors, of new professional clubs, it's like we mentioned in a little bit before, the stakes are just continuing to get higher here, and I think it's just going to keep getting closer and closer and closer. We may see that separation from that, the big three, but I mean, you got to remember when it was just the big two. It keeps evolving. Teams keep catching up. The meta, if you will, keeps shifting here, and I'm really excited to see how these standings take place after the first couple weeks.
A 30-game regular season. Of course, the left-hand side of the bracket is where you want to be. Our top 8 clubs make the playoffs. And of course, the bottom team automatically relegated 13 through 15. Also not where you want to be, as you'll have to fight for your survival in this elite division. This is a division where nothing is guaranteed because of the promotion relegation aspect of the ECL. And of course, NHLGamer.com has all the information that you may need. Of course, not just for our elite division here in our top 16 clubs, but of course, our 4 tiers below this. And of course, Pro Division already kicked off. We also have our Light, Core, and Neo divisions, not to mention everything going on with the Russian side of things and the RCL. It's always a busy time over here at NHL Gamer, of course. So again, NHLGamer.com for all the information that you need there. Sin, with that said, let's take a look at the two teams, our opening matchup to this season. And again, a very interesting one here to say the least, as we do have Granite. Although, hey, I think they'd wish that they'd have the the pedigree of a Philadelphia. But Granite, of course, previously known as Vesapampa, and they will be taking on Färjestad. Now, granted, of course, as Vesapampa last year finished 10th, just outside of the playoff structure, FBK finished in 4th. But Sin, as we saw in those projected standings, FBK not projected to be a playoff team according to the captain's voting this season. Tell us a little bit as to why when we get a look at these lineups.
I mean, you could see in a way that roster has simply sort of been gutted. You could see, well, several people who were on that squad last season now on the flip side. Antonio Lehmanen, to be a couple of the biggest ones. We saw that insane chemistry that they had. Former defensive pairings of in the Vesapampa of old. Then they then become a right side winger and defensive kind of combo that really led to some great breakout passes and added threat to that right hand side of the ice for Färjestad, which I think they desperately needed. Everyone was able to kind of key in on Afe for a while, and that's what was kind of limiting some of their success. But I do like the additions that they brought to the table. I think Volpatoflen is the kind of presence that they need. He plays a very big game. He's great defensively, and in the past, he has used a bigger build, able to use a lot of that physicality, which was, you can argue, it was something that, FBK could really add to the table. And with the addition, Mr. Nipsey and Sebi Larson, we're going to have to see how that defensive pairing plays out. But this is not a weak roster by any means.
Absolutely. So again, talking about those departures, the additions as well. Of course, Ekins still in the lineup for Granite. He does surrender the captaincy back over to Lehmanens, the captain of this particular squad now. And again, as Sin mentioned, Furion, Lehmanens, and Antonio all leaving FBK. Zovi and Ekin, the sole survivors. Thunborg was here last year too. Did not play the majority of his team's games. And then again for FBK, the biggest news today, not just the new additions, the replacements, of course, in the likes of Sebi Larson, Mr. Nipsley, and Fopatoflin, but Provocacia is between the pipes today. McSavid out with what we're going to deem as an internet injury. Unfortunately, his ISP not quite doing him any favors. Sin, McSavid played all 30 of this team's games last season. And you're looking at someone in Provocacia now, 9-4-1 record last year in our light division with DuckTales. He is an elite rookie. This is a huge spotlight to be shown on him in his first elite game to step into what would appear to be from the outside just kind of a natural rivalry game.
Absolutely. When you have, lines shift like that, you kind of, get those battle lines drawn in the sand right there. And when you're going against, your former teammates and stuff, it's that extra bit of, implication, the extra bit of pride on the line. And you're definitely going to want to see that. But yeah, it kind of like a symbolism with McSavid out of the lineup today. It's really kind of like, the times are changing here in the ECL Elite, and Färjestad is going to have to adjust. And that's a huge adjustment. McSavid, one of I would deem one of the top goalies in Elite for the past few years here. Missing him is going to be a bit tough, but what an opportunity for Provocacia to sort of jump in here and prove that he belongs, not only on this roster, but perhaps, in the very near future, a starting spot on one of these teams here in Elite.
Absolutely. Now, again, as we take a look, a further look at these teams and the particular head-to-head matchups that we have here, as again we get ready for our first game of two. It's a home-and-home between both of these teams, and again, as mentioned, we will see Havu Gaming and Goons a little bit later on under the same formats. Looking at the battle of the centers here as well, I think this could be an interesting one with Zovi and Malin. Malin, kind of a similar player and, has taken that step forward, and I'm intrigued to see if Zovi can do that as well this season with what looks to be an incredible supporting cast surrounding him.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail right on the head. I mean, the supporting cast is absolutely insane, and granted, I mean, again, I'm really, really excited to see how Antonio and Lehmanens kind of duke it out. But again, Furion and Lehmanens was a very good defensive pair here, and I've always liked Thunborg. The first, I think one of the first seasons we covered, he just went off and he was standing on his head at times for the Vesapompa of old. And I'd like to see him sort of get back into that form here with Granite Gaming. I saw him tweet out an article saying that there was a big question mark over him. So I think he's got a bit to prove here, and I always like it with a with an esports athlete with a chip on their shoulder. I think it gives them that much more drive to find success. I think we can look for big things coming out of Toonborg.
Absolutely. So again, we are approaching puck drop for our first game of the season. Of course, changes to the schedule this season, as previously it had been Sin and I here every Monday and Wednesday. And it's Sin, I said it was going to be a marathon. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we will be right here covering the action for what is, I don't want to call it a condensed regular season, but certainly keeping the action fast paced as we move towards our playoff format again, which of course you talk about a phenomenal prize pool that we have for these particular teams and what might lie ahead in the future in terms of really, setting the stage for these bigger matchups. And again, last year we saw that emergence, right? And I think that's our kind of big talking point here to really finally set the stage for this first matchup. Last season, we saw that big talking point of which one of these teams, we looked at the standings, which one of these teams can jump up and really threaten the perennial title contenders, such as, of course, a Frölunda for this season, formerly Philadelphia, and of course, a Havu Gaming. And last year, we did see that emergence. H-Reds was finally able to step forward. They are our defending champions, as you saw in the captain's poll as well. They are projected again to finish number one. The balance of power has shifted a little bit with one of these two teams. I said it in that preview. I thought FBK was right there. I thought they were right there. You keep that core unit together, and who knows what this season could have brought. So maybe one of these teams can kind of break through, but at the same time, maybe this would be one of those seasons that you look back on to say, like, okay, this was our opportunity to kind of get our footing before really making that strong push.
Yeah, a team I'm going to be looking for is Goons. The way they came in from pro to elite last year, not only made the playoffs, but were in the middle of the bracket, and they did pretty good. I mean, they had to take on, I believe it was I think it was H-Reds. Man, it's been so long. I'm trying to remember back, but they put up a good fight. They didn't have the strongest start, but they tried their best to fight back, and that's what I like to see as a very kind of young team. Not young and elite, but also young players on their roster. They're really only going to get better from here, and to do that in their first appearance in elite, absolutely huge. And that's kind of who I'm going to have my eyes on to make some waves. They shocked us last season. They could very well do so again this one.
Totally. So again, should be just a few moments away from puck drop in our opening game of this season, one of four in this particular broadcast. Again, it is so nice to be back here with this elite division. Cannot wait to see how this all plays out. Sin, I think it's time. We're ready to go. Granite Gaming and Färjestad kicking off the beginning of ECL 22, our winter season. Both these teams with playoff aspirations. Sin, how do you think this one's going to go? I mean, again, this is such an interesting first matchup. Our matchmakers really hit the nail on the head here to have this be our first game of the season.
Absolutely. It's going to kick off the winter season as best as it should. I mean, it should be fierce, not only with the play on the ice, but their I mean, I'm looking for perhaps some physicality, and we'll kind of see if that is the case right here. Maybe getting some of that All
right, so we are good to go. It really did look like we were going to loop there. We were trying to bide for time. Puck drop. Game is underway. You saw it there briefly as well. Keep your eyes out in chat. There is a survey opportunity that you could take for your opportunity to win an ever-elusive PlayStation 5. So keep an eye out on chat for the link there. Fill out that survey, and who knows, you might be able to have the hard work done for you in terms of trying to lock down one of those consoles. Here's FBK in on the attack. Fopa and again, one of the new wingers, Malin, able to pick that one up. Shot just wide from the point there by Mr. Nipsley. Again, another new addition to this FBK lineup, and a very late addition as well, as the previous incarnation of Sao Esports fell apart just about a week before the beginning of this regular season. So that pass into the slot doesn't go, and here is Laminens. He was last year's transfer of the season for FBK, only to then still leave to, again, be a part of this reunited Granite squad. Let's see what they can do. Here is Antonio Mannon. Of course, we've talked about him, his evolution from a defense-first player to a dynamite two-way forward. So that one's knocked off to the half wall, bouncing puck. He's taken into the neutral zone here. Volpatoflin, good pass. The loose puck recovered again by Laminens. Another loose puck, shot on, doesn't go. Good chance for Afe. Ever dangerous for Färjestad. Sebi Larson not able to hold that at the point. Volpatoflin, that one nearly found a way through. And a bouncing puck. Seen a couple of dangerous moments there for Granite with loose pucks in the slot.
Yeah, and I like what Färjestad's doing. They're trying to pressure the initial breakout pass. They're not exactly getting in too deep on that forecheck, rather just trying to initially cut off the lanes. They're not dropping back in the trap immediately, as we kind of have seen them do in the past against, an opponent like, the now Frölunda, I believe, and it's looking good for them. They've been able to kind of catch Granite Gaming in some rough spots and generate some offensive chances because of it.
Dump and chase attempt there, and Antonio Mannon able to win that puck back. Back to the point, Furion's shot blocked down in front. Of course, this is our first ECL season as well within NHL 22. Intriguing to see, of course, we always talk about player builds. Intriguing to see what X-Factor setups these guys might go with. D to D, that one thrown into the slot, picked off by Zovi for Granite. We'll slow things down. Before trying to look for that breakout there, you see a strong presence on the blue line for FBK. You know how dangerous, both sides know how dangerous the other can be on those quick strike counterattacks. As Nipsely able to hit Mullen here, the captain, bringing it over the blue line. Great way to avoid traffic there. Puck still in possession. Mullen across, backhand on, and a good stop there by Thunborg. Again, it's been a while since he's played a majority of games for his team in a season, but he is projected to be their #1 goalie here this year. Laminens able to find Ekin, throws it on, rebound was there. Zovi still has it. That one goes into the corner. Again, a lot of pressure on FBK's netminder, Provocacia, making his elite debut on short notice. McSavid out, again with an internet injury. Slap shot deflection, and they score! First goal of the year, it's Zovi in front, and Granite strikes first.
Just a beautiful job by Granite to maintain the pressure in that offensive zone. That first initial pass that went through the crease kind of skittered through as Laminens was dropping back, didn't want to get caught too deep. However, it did work out for Granite. They're able to recover that puck, set up their cycle, get the shot clean through, and deflected in by Zovi. That was just an excellent job of working the perimeter until they found that open up. Deflections and screens are definitely a bigger threat this season than they are this year in NHL than they ever really have been before. An excellent use of it from Granite right there. 1-0.
And Sid, you saw the big tipper ability, a factor there. Love to see a center rocking that ability, proper positioning, getting in front, and it pays off. Zovi strikes first for Granite Gaming. 2 minutes to go in the opening frame, and Granite right back in on the attack. Good defense there, though. Again, by that new defense pairing in Sebi Larson and Mr. Nipsely. Chance now circling back. Pass over to Volpatoflin. Pressured along the half wall. One-timer blocked down in front. Great job by Antonio Mannon. Good pressure here, though, by FBK. Player down. Laminens able to get it right back. Thought we fixed those. Apparently not. Laminens has it one more time. One more rush for Granite here. Antonio in front. Traffic. It's on the line. And Provocacia is able to find it with 2.2 to go.
And just kind of driving the net right there with the time winding down. You'll never know what can happen with those kind of dirty goals in front with the bounces just taking whacks at it. Fortunately, Provocacia was able to get that snag, but there's a time for a face-off play.
They do win it. Furent over. Big save by Provocacia. Sin, he read that perfectly. He was in position before that extra shot came through.
Yeah, you really kind of have to be in this season as it's, as that defending player, whether it's the forward or the winger or the defenseman. What a hit!
Elite edges as he just gets railroaded. Oh, this replay system is the best.
I lost my train of thought, but that's okay.
I'm so sorry. Oh, that was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Thank you very much. Sin, we get a look there at the numbers, pretty close, just 6 shots combined. Granite, though, again, being willing to throw that puck on net, and it worked out well. We get another look I do believe, at the goal here. That shot from Furion. And look at how close that was. Nearly looked like the FBK player blocked it as it was deflected.
Yeah, perhaps if his stick positioning stayed on that side, he could have maybe hindered. But you know, it's hard to say with the way collision detection works in this game. However, nonetheless, it's just a great job, fundamental hockey coming out from Granit Gaming. That's what I really like about NHL 22 so far is tips and screens. You know, you definitely have to be very ready for them.
Zafe's force pass there into the slot doesn't go through. And a lot of pressure on FBK this year. Predicted to finish outside of that playoff structure after the departure of their now Granite opposition here. That pass in front again picked off by Laminins. And Laminins and Furion were absolutely fantastic for FBK last year. They have that built-in chemistry. Laminins not able to keep that puck alive. Mr. Nipsley's pass off the mark. Going to go down for an early icing call.
So far, so good for Granit Gaming. They're keeping Färjestad away from that from the slot area where they keep trying to pass it. They're getting intercepts. They're getting, contact on it. Now an aggressive face-off, looking for another set play, perhaps.
Face-off one to Furion, not able to hold on to it. Throws one on, and a glove save by Provocaccia there. Sin, unfortunate for Furion. Again, just kind of bounced off his tape right off that draw.
Yeah, can sometimes happen. He not quite able to settle that puck. He did get the shot away, but it did give Provocaccia plenty of time to sort of readjust to perhaps what he thought was coming with his anticipation.
Same thing here, the aggressive face-off. Mullins able to win it for FBK. Trouble along the half wall and sent back around by Eckett. FBK again in possession, trying to slow things down. Sebi Larsson's clear attempts. Not able to find its intended target. Granit trying to get right back into the attacking zone. Good layers in defense, though, for Färjestad. 5 minutes gone here in the second period. Opening goal again by Granit from their centerman Zovi off the deflection attempt. Had 35 points in 30 games last season. Certainly the potential for a whole lot more with this new supporting cast around him. Furion wraparound bid nearly found its way home for Eckett. Pinned into the boards. Zovi has it. Still trying to hold on to it. Great awareness. It goes around to the left and out. Furion just not able to get back over there in time.
Yeah, he was already kind of rotating in the set right there, but they do get it right back in. I mean, the spacing and puck support that they have right now, absolutely phenomenal. The control, they know exactly how they can, protect that puck near the boards, and we're even really trying to slow down that Färjestad breakout. And we haven't kind of seen any of those Omaha passes quite yet. Now, they can be a bit more tricky with the slap shot power from the defenseman, but I would expect to see Färjestad still wanting to integrate that into their game.
Huge hit, Antonio Manning getting up slow, but he'll have a chance to get the loose puck to keep the attack alive for Granit. Gets it to Eckett. Up to the point, Furion throws it on. Stopped again by Provocaccia. Again, an elite rookie having to make his first start on short notice. Looking good so far despite the opening goal. And here's Sebi Larsson stepping up with speed. Crashes the net, shot, scores! It bounces in on the secondary attempt, but it might be waved off here. So let's get another look at this one.
I don't know if they're looking for a kick or goaltender interference. There definitely was contact. However, I'm not too sure if the rule it was. Now, yeah, there's going to be no goal right there. That's a tough break from Färjestad. It was a 2-on-1 great chance and unfortunately gets called back.
Very tough break there. That was a great job stepping up and utilizing his speed by Sebi Larsson. Just an unfortunate break. 16 points in 18 games with this team, with Granit, before, of course, they rebranded. They were Pesapampa previously, and I mean, Sin, that's a promising sign that someone like Sebi Larsson can show that ability to just read the play and jump up. Really an unfortunate break.
Yeah, absolutely, and Färjestad definitely need that. They need as many threats offensively as they can get right there. As we see another shot attempt from the point. Granit continuing to go back to the well, and why not? It does create scary situations.
Great block there by Antonio Manning. Sin, it's one of those things that's tough to quantify if we were to have an award for best defensive forward, but Antonio Manning would have just as good of a chance as anybody to win that.
Absolutely, and someone may even deem it an unfair advantage.
On the aggressive forecheck there. Sorry to cut you off. Thought that pass was going to go across to Eck, and Antonio Manning causing havoc right now in the defensive end.
Absolutely, and that shot block, I mean, he's flexing his old defensive muscles right there. The poke checks on the forecheck, just really doing work right there, and it's creating a lot of chances here for Granite. Nice move right there to get around Furion. Excellent defensive skill stick to break that up, however.
Popotoflin still in possession, gets it back again, goes to the point, and another block in front. That's been the story so far, that collapsing defense for Granite, keeping pucks away from Toonborg. It's FBK. Looking to break through, nowhere to go. Great job patrolling the blue line. Zovi over for Antonio Mann, now it's Ekin. Back for Antonio, nearly spun through with the puck. Very close call. Sin not only is he defensively responsible, he has that offensive creativity as well. He has the puck again here on the half wall, pass off the mark. Ekin picks it back up, tries to bring it down low. They love that behind the net cycle. What a stop by Provocacia, and another one off the blocker, off the crossbar. So close for Granite. There's the quick out. Chance scores! Who else would it be? It's Afe down the other way. We're tied at 1 apiece. What a turn of events here in the second period.
Vintage FBK asking you shall receive. I was wondering if we'd see it broken out. Well, there it was right there after a hectic moment back in the other end. It's Afe streaking forward, splitting the defense. A perfect slap pass down, just clearing the net. And he does what he does best. He finishes those plays. What a tying marker with merely 8 seconds left in the second. This game just got a whole lot more interesting.
That one nearly chopped on. 3 seconds to go. Zovi, chance scores! Off the broken play with 1.6 to go. Granite strike for the second time and regain the lead.
So Zovi confirmed, good at NHL. 2 goals here, stuck with the play. I love to see it. I mean, just never give up. Doesn't matter how much time is left, doesn't matter where that puck is, keeps driving, keeps going for it, gets rewarded there as Provocacia kind of caught swimming as he wasn't too sure where that puck was going to end up. It was bouncing all over the shop. And Granite Gaming, just like that, stopping the momentum of Färjestad in its tracks and regaining that 1-goal lead before the period end. Insane. Just insane. Clutch goals coming out from both these teams, and what a third period we're going to have on our hands.
I mean, we bring it back to the Afe goal. There were 2 chances for Granite. We saw a big save from Provocacia. And then that follow-up attempt off the blocker, off the crossbar, led to that quick slap shot out, as Sin called. We knew it was coming. If you thought any team would know enough to shut it down, it would be Granite. They still got caught. But then Sin, we get one more look here, I imagine, right here indeed. As we'll get a look at the Afe goal and that finish. Not much that Toonborg can do, but we should get one more look, hopefully. Now, the game's going to disappoint us, but it was a broken play. Zovi was just in the right spot to be able to tuck that one home.
Absolutely, and I think it was him who actually tried that initial pass. I believe it was near the boards, or perhaps he was just the recipient of the bounce that came after it, but just put the puck on net. Why not with that much time left? And unfortunate for FBK, went in. They have mini 2-on-1 that almost goes home with a quick pass to Afe.
And another shot on, stopped by Toonborg. Loose puck still there. Popotoflin denied. Still loose in front, and Laminen's hopefully trying to settle it down. Gets it over to Antonio Mann. Incredible pace between these two teams after a bit of a feeling out process in the first. We were nearly tied up again.
Yeah, this one really opening up. I love the way that Färjestad started that period right there, and all 3 of their forwards were so low in that zone, just little kind of passes, waiting for that bounce in front of the goaltender, and they really almost got rewarded for it. It was a decent save by Toonborg, good defense by Granit, but, you know, maybe a bit of misfortune with how the bounces played out as well, but that's the fire and tenacity that they're going to need throughout the rest of this third period to get the tie.
Now the 4 on low, Ekin in front, just denied. Another great save as Lehman is pinched down in to help make that happen. Here's Popotoflin, one-timer, glove stopped by Toonborg. Somehow saw that one through the traffic. Sin, that one looked like it was destined to find the back of the net. Another great chance for Sebby Larson.
He gets it in the glove wall, sliding the opposite way. Remember that save, because Färjestad probably feeling like they should have had a goal right there. And enormous save from Toonborg as the breakout not looking good. Popotoflin
not able to hold on to that one after a great intercept. FBK have given Granite some trouble on their breakouts. Ekin with the puck. Antonio nowhere to go, but it's down low in the corner. Granite will give him a little bit of space. Sebby Larson Over for Nipsley. Now the centerman Mullen, captain of the squad, of course. Over to Nipsley, knocked off the puck, wins it back. These scrambles for the puck, the deciding factor in this game so far. Furion not able to dance his way around Sebi Larson. Mullen having to weave his way through traffic. Trying to gain the attacking zone, and he does. Sebi Larson stepping up again, drives the net, loose puck. Furion's there. And now it's Antonio Mannin trying to generate a little bit of speed. Under 12 minutes to go here in regulation. The first game of our broadcast schedule for ECL 22, our winter season. And there is the first penalty that we've seen. It will be a Granite power play if necessary. It's FBK struggling to get possession. Chance for Lehman's in front, doesn't go. Then it's a tripping call and an FBK power play.
Yeah. Granted, I mean, that's, again, excellent. They didn't get a shot out of it, but I continue to be amazed by their puck control right here as they are going to head to the power play. And Sebi Larson, who has had a good game so far, will be sitting in the box. And now we get to see, can they translate their puck possession and forecheck and offensive cycle abilities to that power play. They unfortunately do lose the faceoff, so they're going to have to reset and regain that zone.
Halfway through this third period, big chance now for Granite to add to their lead. Good intercept by Fopa Toflin. Someone who I do believe does have experience in playing defense. He's going to go very aggressive here on the kill and causing trouble. Lehman's really having to scramble to find a way to get that puck out. So we're already halfway through this man advantage. Furion has it here, has a couple of options, goes down for Ekin in front, nearly shoveled home. That was a great look for Zovi. He's on a brace in this game as that one's sent out. One more rush opportunity here for Granite on their first power play attempt of this new season. As Zovi tries to cut in, Fopo Toflin takes it away, and we're back to 5-on-5. Safi over the blue line, great saucer pass to Fopo Toflin, nowhere to go. Sin, for Fopa Toflin, he's had a couple of close calls, just needs that extra half a second to make the play, and it hasn't been there.
Yeah, and credit to Granite as well for taking away that little bit of time that, FBK perhaps wants. But once again, it's kind of been Granite sort of dictating the pace right there. Another deflection from Zolvi off the Furion shot from the point, and they're looking extremely good. But what a save by Provocacia, keeping them in it, keeping this tight with 5 minutes left. Still only a 1-goal deficit to overcome.
Long way to go. Furion trouble, able to get out of it. Here's Antonio over the line now on the off wing. Shot nearly finding its way home. Nipsley for Fopa Toflin. FBK. We're tied in this game for such a brief amount of time. Trying to get that goal that could potentially force overtime here in our season opener. Certainly wouldn't be the first time, Sin. Believe what, last season, our season opener, what was it, 4 overtimes? Maybe
yeah,
5. It was an absolute marathon. We had to deem this marathon Monday. Chance for Fopa Toflin in front. Nobody home. Perhaps one pass too many, but they keep it alive. Here's Mr. Nipsley down low in front. Banks off of skates. 1.5 to go. Fopa Toflin can't get that through. Lehman's able to recover for Granite. Outlet pass. Man stifled at the red line. And icing will be called. Oftentimes you'll see it waved off there, but a lucky break for FBK.
Yeah, and Granite continuing to do an excellent job of clogging up that slot, which is where Färjestad wants to generate their chances from those in-tight passes through the low slot.
Nipsley for Fopa Toflin. Final 50 seconds here. Nipsley at the point. D-to-D. Sebi Larson shot. Rebound. Pass back across. Loose puck. Still there. Still scrambling and fighting for it. FBK come back. Sebi Larson shot on and a kick stop by Toomborg. Great chances for FBK. Just not able to find the back of the net for the second time. Here comes Granite. Zovi over for Ekin. Puck down now behind the goal line. FBK recovers. 25 seconds to go. Again, first game of the season in our opening week for these two. Slap shot blocked down. Nipsley pinches in, keeps it alive. Fopa Toflin not able to hold on. Zovi avoids traffic. And here comes the rush down the other way with 12 seconds to go. Antonio Mannin sends it down low. Good quick outlet. Fopa Toflin. 7 seconds. Here's Nipsley. Fopa Toflin can't get the shot off. Toflin again. It bounces back to the point. And that will do it. Granite take their season opener 2-1 over FBK. Sin, what an incredibly close contest that was.
Yeah, and it really got down to the wire. A lot of close chances there from Färjestad, but a couple times I would have liked to see a shot being taken instead of the extra pass across the middle. While it can work out, Granit was shutting it down the whole game. Sometimes you get in that mindset of like, well, it's got to work eventually. In this case, it didn't, and there's a couple times where I would like to see just an in-tight shot. You never know sometimes. Sometimes you could just pick a corner on a goaltender, and, you know, it could have worked for Färjestad. A couple more shots there, maybe towards the end. But you never know. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. It didn't happen either way, and Färjestad dropped their first game of the season, and what a win there for Granit. And it's got to feel good, especially for the likes of Antonio, Furian, and Lehmanens, you know, getting that kind of win under your belt, not only for the season, but against your former squad. And it's, you know, scoreboard aside, I would say they had the advantage throughout most of the game, and were definitely, in my opinion, should have been the favorites from that. But we've said that a lot of times in those Färjestad games, and somehow Färjestad are finding ways to win. But you can see there, time on attack did get a bit closer there, but I did feel like Granit really sort of dictated the pace for a lot of that. Their offensive zone time, the sequences that they had, the passing work that they had, and really the defense all in all, besides that one breakdown right there, allowing Afe to split the D for that in-tight goal, which, again, vintage Färjestad. I really feel like they had the upper hand, and we're going to have to see Färjestad maybe try to come out in a different way and get some chances. And we are seeing that bounce. It was a failed intercept from the middle, which then bounced back to Zovi. So that's feels bad. I know how that feels, and it feels real bad right there.
You got to look there at that first goal again. Both goals for Zovi, as Granit takes that opening game 2-1. One goal for FBK, maybe not what they were looking for, Sin. I mean, we're talking about a team that in the past has had goal-scoring issues. I mean, offensively, like you said, maybe, you know, it's just a matter of time until they can get some of the chemistry work down. You are talking about, you know, I mean, you have the chemistry with Afe and Mullen, but adding Fopatoflin, two brand new defenders, you know, they had their moments for sure. And I do think they were unlucky for the winning goal for Granit to be what it was. But a lot to talk about in the aftermath of that first game. For Granit, though, I mean, despite that one goal, Sin, that defense, as advertised, with Furion and Lehmanens, again, for Granit to be able to kind of reunite as a squad, and you take two guys off of who happened to be a top four team last year, really three guys, and obviously if you factor in Antonio as well, like just that built-in chemistry. There really isn't that much of an adjustment period for Granite, as most of these guys, if not all of them, have played together before, as compared to what we see now for FBK. If Granite can have defensive, you know, granted, 29 games to go, but if Granite can have defensive performances like that throughout the season, they're going to be very tough to beat.
Yeah, and really, Thunborg only had to make about one tough save, I would say, and that's great. That's a huge mark on a solid defensive performance, and it takes five guys, five skaters out there to play that solid defense. We see Antonio high in the zone blocking shots. We saw Zovi getting his stick in shooting and passing lanes. I mean, he deflected a shot into the corner boards with a defensive skill stick, which is massive. That's all. These are all little things that a squad needs to do to play good defense. It's not just on the two guys in the back end and that goaltender. It's everyone up front, and they all did a great job. And the transition's a little iffy in the beginning. I did like Färjestad. They were able to really kind of stifle their breakouts in the beginning. But once Granit kind of adjusted and figured that out, they were able to get those pucks out a bit more cleanly. And that really kind of negates a lot of the presence that Färjestad wants to bring to the table, is that keeping it in the zone, eventually those low passes through the slot can open up if you keep getting the defensive skaters moving laterally and up and down and stuff, which is what they attempted to do. Maybe I'd like to see maybe a few more shots from the point from Färjestad, but again, they were being blocked, you know, so sufficiently early on that you're just like, okay, if it's not there, we got to try something else. And that was kind of the case for Färjestad. Just Granit kept taking things away from them and not really giving them back as the game wore on.
Absolutely. And again, as we get ready for our second game of two between these two clubs, again, our opening home and home series, we'll have one more for you a little bit later on in this broadcast. Again, former champions in Havu taking on Goons, two teams certainly with championship aspirations. For FBK, in terms of what they need to do, I mean, again, you mentioned it, looking for those good opportunities. I think at the very least, one of their big concerns probably a little bit alleviated. And again, we talked about McSaven not being able to participate today, unfortunately, due to those internet issues. But again, Provocacia steps into this lineup as a rookie, jumps from light division all the way to elite pro division. Who needs pro division experience? And has a really good performance against a fairly dynamic offense. So I think any concerns that they might have had there, and I'm sure they had confidence, in their netminder. It's why they would have picked him up and had him make that jump. But still, I think, any concerns you might have had there, a little bit alleviated at this point, and now it's just a matter of, trying to find those few extra goals because defensively they weren't bad. I mean, there's really not much you could have done about that second goal. It really was just a bad break.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just going to bring up that point. The game winner for Granite just ended up being off of a bounce that Provocacia just could not simply adjust back to. He was already adjusting for the cross ice. It was almost intercepted, but it bounces off the stick, and Zovi kind of just capitalized on that by just firing it on the net there. Um,
As we are Discord, we have become sentience. We have become the Discord. There we go. Oh, it is the first game of the season, everybody. At the end of the day, Sin, we look ahead to this next matchup, and I still think, the second game between these two likely to be just as close. Again, for FBK, not that this was the game that you wanted to lose, but I think it is positive that they kept it so close. And I'm already going to call it. By the end of the season, we're going to hope for a playoff series between these two teams.
I mean, that would be absolutely exciting and tons of implications surrounding it as well. But yeah, I mean, 2-1, about as close as it gets. And with how wide open it was at time, credit to the goaltenders, credit to the defense for being able to sort of slow it down. But I cannot wait for the second game between these two. Granite guaranteeing the split already, but they're hungry to get the 2-0 against Färjestad, and that would hurt early on in the season for Färjestad, a team with a lot to prove.
Absolutely. So again, just about ready for game number 2. Again, you'll see it pop up in chat all day long. You have an opportunity to walk away with a PlayStation 5. So ever elusive, all you have to do is fill out our community survey, and you could be you could be the lucky winner. One of the rare few to have a PlayStation 5. Sin, have you ever seen one in the wild? Because I know I haven't.
No, I had to beat an old lady with a stick to be able to get my new system. So fortunately, you just got complete a survey here, which we definitely appreciate all the feedback. We're always looking to change here for the better and evolve, and your guys' feedback is definitely important in that journey for us. So thank you very much.
In your defense, that old lady had it coming.
She did have it coming. What's she going to do with that system?
Now's a great time to shout out our sponsors. Shout out to Kovalon Lakritzy, Wilhelm, X-Bill, and ST Hockey, of course. We are just about ready for game number 2 of the day. Again, the second matchup between Granite and FBK. Granite rocking, of course, I'm going to go with the gold and black. Why not? Maybe it's yellow and black. But I mean, hey, the logo's a king. Kings love gold. The gold and black for Granite, and of course, FBK in the white and green. You can look, of course, at the lineups there, and we'll see how this one plays out and what adjustments these two teams happen to make after that first game.
Yeah, I mean, we only saw one Omaha attempt for Färjestad, and it worked, so 100% success rate. I'd say try to go back to it at some point, but I mean, I'm assuming it's always going to be in their back pocket. Always something Granite's got to be ready for, but they could dictate the pace again as they almost get an in-tight shot with Lehman and jumping into the play. An early power play, and that's not what you want to see if you're Färjestad.
An interference call against Mullins, so not only that, they lose their center for this ensuing kill. Huge moment here, perhaps, for Granite to grab the lead early on here in the early stages of the first period. 2:59 gone through this opening frame so far. Tie up on the draw. Volpatofa not able to clear, and Granite in possession. Here's Furion, throws it on, wanted that deflection. Good save and a second chance. Shoveled on by Zovi, nearly found a way through, and Sin, that was a fantastic chop. A defenseman after your own heart when Sebi Larson getting the clear.
Yeah, and I really like the play in the slot, tying up the stick, not allowing the deflection. The shot still got through, but great job to tie up the stick and take that option away.
Love the chemistry already on display from Furion on that left point with the centerman Zovi as well, constantly looking for those connections there. Great patience by Sebi Larson. Absolutely kills Fopatolflin on the clearance attempt, but still, they're in possession. 10 seconds remaining on the Granite power play. Here's Laminins. That pass. Trouble. Danger there with Mullen coming out of the box. Around the back of the net, Antonio Mannon still has it. Big hit there. And here go FBK down the other way. Can they take advantage? They can't there, unfortunately. Afe just running out of space. Great job by Granite. Here's a quick out of their own, giving chase to Zekin. Goes all the way around to Zovi. No icing, but FBK takes it away. A play out of the FBK playbook.
Yeah, and somehow Zovi got his stick on that puck in possession before it could be touched by Färjestad, and sort of surprising to see, but great play nonetheless is that Färjestad do get the zone entry, but snuffed out once again on that right-hand side. Antonio and Lehman is kind of working in tandem right there.
Great movement, loose puck again in a dangerous spot. Sebi Larson able to carry it away. Shocking to not see Antonio take a trip there. I'm going to call them horrifically mistimed pokes that he was fortunate to not be punished for as he chases down this great dump and chase attempt, but a better read by Afe. Chance here now, slowing down. Fopatolflin back to the point. Sebi Larson right back to him. That puck knocked loose before it could be thrown in front. Sebi Larson throws it on. Doesn't find its way on goal through the traffic. Great job by Ekin to take his time. Furion gets ran over. Chance here. Pass broken up. Loose puck again. Handled by Granite, playing with fire. FBK just not able to make these plays happen. Shot on. And Provocacia. Great job to deny the rebound.
Yeah, there's been a couple massive collisions right there. I really like that. The step up right now, not allowing Furion to exit the zone, and oftentimes that can be scary when your defenseman gets hit high up in your own zone like that, but it's a great play by Zovi to just sort of step in right there and block that pass to the slot, which once again, Färjestad keeps going for it, and Granit just keeps taking it away.
And a huge shout out to Solheim in chat for giving us all the updates for what's going on our non-broadcast games here today. Shout out as a chance there, thrown in front, puck still loose, kicked out around the back of the net, and FBK recovers. Your Gordon Hockey, projected by our captains to finish dead last and get automatically relegated, beat YMCA in their season opener. YMCA projected to make the playoffs, so you never know what's going to happen in the early stages of a brand new season. As again, Granite, I mean, dare I say, rock solid defense for the most part here so far. FBK having quite a bit of trouble finding consistent attacking opportunities here in this first period.
Yeah, and once again, it comes back to that's Granite being able to sort of dictate the pace of play right there. Excellent defensive skill stick from Afe to break that up, and then getting that puck back. Everyone's timing was a bit off. It does lead to the offside here. That being said, again, until, Färjestad are able to kind of take the reins out of the hands of Granite, I feel like they're going to have the chance to sort of get the advantage in this game and strike first.
Chance here, thrown back to the point. Furion shot on, rebound, handled well by Sebi Larson. We approach the final 2 minutes here. Fopatolflin trying to fend off the pressure. Mr. Nipsley there to help him out. Puck thrown in front again. Just a little bit too much traffic. And again, not able to find its way through. Can't say I blame Fopatolflin for doing that with some of my experiences. In terms of, hey, forcing passes, you never know what's going to happen. Someone might shoot the puck through your skate. You never know what might happen. Chance there, shot scores! Afe, incredibly quick hands, and he has the opening goal of the game and his second of the season. Sin, that was lightning quick.
Yeah, and he just gets it in the middle, kind of just trying to power through the net, but also with the hand ability, you saw it right there. He actually, I think it was he lost the puck for a split second, but stuck with it and close enough to get that pickup. Not a whole lot Thunberg can do on that, as he does have the in close, I believe it's called, that X factor right there to help with the shooting in tight like that. And why not when you're off it? That seems to be where a lot of his goals come from, either the in tight one-timers or those mini breakaways. He gets off those passes right there, just drove the net, put the shot on and scored, and that's kind of what I wanted to see at the end of the last game. Just put some of those shots on a bit in tight. You never know what can happen. Goal for Färjestad, and that takes some of the wind out of the sails here at the end of the first for Granite.
Silly shot stopped by Thunberg. He'll play it out. And that'll do it for the first period. A late goal. I mean, Granite honestly got the better of the play for the majority of that first period, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. All that matters is the scoreboard. And Afe again finds the back of the net. We always call him out as the most dangerous player on this team. Sin kind of undersold it. 66 points in 28 games last year for Afe with 45 goals. He's off to a damn good start
Yeah.
for this season in terms of the goal scoring account so far, too, in 4 periods of play.
Yeah, and he's dangerous to the point where when we talked with the former Philadelphia now Frölunda, they just said, yeah, it's all about Afe. In the interview, I think it was with Eki, he said, I'm like, all right, how'd you guys, what was your game plan going to shut them down? He said, shut down Afe. And it's sometimes easier said than done, but that's kind of been it. He's been so dominant over the years here, or you have to. It's just too scary. And even when you focus on him, like I'm sure Granit kind of is, he can still slip through the seams. He has 2 goals in these in 4 periods so far, and he's going to continue to be a threat. Yeah, but that's got to kind of feel bad. If there's a team out there who can get quote unquote outplayed with time and attack shots like that and still win, it's Färjestad. So, granted, they're going to want to continue to play their game, but they definitely want to find the scoreboard here sooner rather than later, because it'll get dicey at the end against the Färjestad team with the counterattack ability that they have.
We continue to see those dump and chase attempts from Furion into the opposite side corner. Keep an eye out for that one. It's FBK back in possession here. Again, early stages of the second period now. Granit taking the first game between these two by the score of 2-1. Svopatoflin has it. That extra pass. Shot on. Good stop by Thunborg. And so you kind of mentioned in that first game, maybe looking for Svopatoflin to, throw a couple more pucks on at this point. I mean, I think we've only seen him pass. Zovi, chance, rebound, scores! And just like that, we're tied. Antonio Mannin has his first of the year, and we're tied at 1 apiece.
Antonio Mannin this time from the left side of the ice, but what a timing play right there. Just kind of a crash the net sort of play right there, and that's as kind of hectic as it looks. That does rely on timing right there, as Antonio has to be in the right position to get that rebound. Just really good job of Granit, sort of force the issue right there, getting the tie. That's again kind of stings for Färjestad, as they did get themselves an advantage, and immediately Granit just kind of takes it away. Now this time it is only tied as opposed to last game where they did retake the lead. But that being said, Färjestad going to look to strike back very quickly here.
Absolutely tried to shovel one on, pokes it towards the slot. Furion's there to pick it up. A little bit of space for Antonio again. Down that right-hand side, takes the contact around the back of the net, still fighting for it. Sends it back to the point. Laminens looking, has space. Throws one on, second chance. Antonio back across. Zovi just couldn't get a piece of it. As Antonio has that one knocked loose. Laminens, though, that patience at the blue line. We know he's an amazing one-on-one player as well. A chance here, perhaps, and a big stop by Thunborg. A little bit tongue-tied there. I was kind of surprised it wasn't Granit walking away with the possession. FBK able to make something happen out of a secondary opportunity. A good bit of defense on display from them as well. So we approach the halfway point of this second period. Afe trying to just barrel his way through the defense. No dice on that occasion. And here's Antonio Mannin one more time. Has a couple of options. Tried to throw it in front. Doesn't go. Sebi Larsson's there. And he still has the puck. Sends it around the back of the goal. Bit of space for Nipsley, but again, knocked loose. Sin, I'll be intrigued to see what the time on attack stat is. A monstrous hit there. No charge. But still able to recover. It's FBK back in control. Held in by Svopatoflin there on his off wing. Throws one on just wide of the post on the far side. Nipsley, again, able to rifle one into the slot. Just not there. FBK staying with that strategy. Laminen's burst speed, throws it across. Nearly found Ekin. FBK playing with fire, not shutting down that far post.
Yeah, that was an insane pass from Laminens right there. Perfectly timed. I mean, it looked like the positioning was good from Ekin. There's just the defenseman was able to get the intercept, which was absolutely massive. Just because they were kind of behind the player right there as well. But, Granit continuing to look dangerous and snuffing out once again the counterattack of Färjestad.
That one to Antonio, throws it in front, picked up. Both teams kind of throwing the same strategy back at one another. Looking for this tiebreaker goal. The opportunity here now. Puck down low. Svopatoflin back to Nipsley at the point. Gets it back. Pass across. Loose puck. Laminens there to recover one more time. Antonio Mannin over the blue line. Has Zovi. Shot on. Loose puck. And despite the threat, Provocac is able to find it and cover.
Yeah, and that's keeps coming out from Granit. They're going for everything. You know, jam plays, shots from the points, deflections. That right there, the rebound plays too. And it was dangerously that puck kind of skittering between the legs of Provocacia that Ekin was looking to get a stick on and send it home. Not to be, but they do have an offensive zone face-off.
Off the draw, it is FBK who are able to come up with it. Turn it over, though. Antonio Mannin gets it back from Ekin and just gets floored halfway across the rink. Furion stepping in. Down low, pass across and a glove stop. Provocacia able to track that one off the Antonio Mannin opportunity. Might have been a little bit more of an accurate shot had he, again, not been thrown across the rink by his incredible Hulk opposition. Off the face-off, 50 seconds to go here. Loose puck again, recovered by FBK off the draw. See what Sebi Larson can do. Seen his patience and ability with the puck. Errant spin there by Mr. Nipsley. 3 seconds to go. Granit will kill the clocks. And we go to the third period. Tied at 1 apiece. This game as close as you'd expect between these two teams.
Yeah, and I kind of want to mention Färjestad sort of dodging a bullet there as they saw them off of the face-off one previous to the one that we just saw, which was the tie-up. It's sort of an unforced error as they sent it up the boards to no one, where Antonio Mannin was able to get that right there, and it did lead to some chances. Not any particularly dangerous ones for Granit, but again, we talked about in the pregame with the new roster setup, you know, is chemistry on this stage going to be kind of an issue. That right there, as I said, unforced error, something that just simply can't happen. You got to know where the players are. Either, you know, you got to have a forward on the board, or the defenseman has to recognize that the forward is not there. There wasn't anyone bearing down on him, nothing like that. But you know, as I said, it's those little things that can lead to a team's downfall. And fortunately, they don't pay for it on the scoreboard. However, again, you got to feel like Granit is once again dictating the pace. Färjestad with the lead in hits, and there's been some massive ones. And one of them, the first one I think in this game, was Afe, and I always cracked me up to see him with his tiny build absolutely flooring people. But again, you know your build, you can play with it exceptionally well as we start this third period tied at 1.
Indeed, and unfortunately going a little bit robotic there at the end. I was still able to hear the points, though, but duly noted for those watching the broadcast. Hopefully that will clear up at the end of the day. Again, the joys of conducting these broadcasts is, again, it's a global affair. Big stops there by Thunborg in the early stages of this third period. Great toe drag by Zovi. Another move shot doesn't go. Could have been an early contender for goal of the season. Would have been his third of the year as Antonio trying to get it to Ekin, not able to hold on. It's FBK down the other way. Popotoflin not able to keep his feet there momentarily, but he's able to keep control. Now it's Laminen. See what he can do. Again, great patience and composure with the puck for the captain of this Granit squad. He gets hit hard, though. Here's Popotoflin. Able to make things happen. Mullen's shot. That one doesn't go off a man in front. Deflects down into the corner. Still fighting for it here now, though. Let's see what they can do. Popotoflin pulling it over to the strong side. Sebi Larson looking. Shot. Way too much traffic. Send 3 men in the slot there for Granit.
Yeah, an excellent job of covering that, but maybe a little too telegraphed from Färjestad right there about what they were going to do. Just kind of walk through, trying to get to the middle to shoot. Oh, my goodness.
And then he misses just wide. What an opportunity that was, Sin, seemingly out of nowhere.
Absolutely out of nowhere. I mean, the defense of Granit caught a bit too high, a bit flat-footed. Dare I say, napping right there as Mullen was able to creep through and get a nice shot on. Unfortunately, goes wide from in tight, and that's an unfortunate break for Färjestad, who are, getting their chances here towards the end.
Great job there by Mr. Nipsley, holding him up at the blue line. He leads it down the other way. Unfortunate break as Afe just couldn't hold on to it. Here's Ekin down the other way with speed, has help. Great defensive display, though, by Popotoflin helping out. Pass in front. Zovi just couldn't pull the trigger. And it's Sebi Larson who's able to find it. Slow things down a little bit.
Yeah, good job from Mr. Nipsley getting in his face and not allowing it. There's a slap pass. Can't quite capitalize as he goes down in a heap of skate blades and sticks.
Afe just absolutely destroying his shins on the goalpost there. Luckily, there's not injuries off of those type of occasions as FBK going to look to go down the other way here now. Broken up and back into the neutral zone. 6.5 to go here in the third period. Again, It is Granite taking game 1, 2-1. It's the second game of 2 between these two teams. We still have our home-and-home series between Havu Gaming and Goons coming up upon the conclusion of this game. As Ekin able to get it in the attacking zone. Antonio Mann battling Sebi Larson. Again, Sebi able to slow things down. Talk about the composure of Laymanens with the puck. Sebi Larson's looked great so far with his new club. 4 minutes remaining here in regulation. This one knocked down into the corner. Afe battling for it. Fopa Toflin, the reach for it. Ended up throwing the puck in front, but Granit was there to recover. Great drop pass. Here's Ekin now. Furion at the point, throws it on. Loose puck, scramble in front, still fighting for it. Antonio there, and somehow FBK able to survive. Sebi Larson again will slow it down. There's the quick out. Furion able to glove it down and maintain control. 1.5 to go. Zovi off the spin, not able to hold it. Turn over to Antonio Mann, and a big blocker save by Provocacia. Here's Mullen trying to lead it down the other way. Bumped off the puck. Center on center violence. It's Ekin the spin. That pass just not able to find Antonio. Quick out. Furion takes it away. 45 seconds to go. An incredibly close game between these two teams. There's the dump and chase to the left-hand side. And Ekin able to win that one clean. Goes to Furion, stepping in, back to Ekin. Looking at his options, cuts back down low. Again, goes to Zovi. Antonio Mann tried to find Furion, the pass just off the mark. Good possession work there from Ekin on that left-hand side.
It really was, and he passed it at the right time. Sometimes made it a bit close, but was able to draw those defenders towards him to try to open up space elsewhere. Really good job. We haven't seen him, getting perhaps the production that he wants or the chances he wants, but, very integral right there to that possession game as we saw.
5 seconds to go. Sebi Larson being pressured. He's able to hold on to the puck. Loses it here, but time will expire. We are going to overtime for the first time on broadcast this season. A 1-1 affair as you get a look at a late opportunity there. It's an incredibly close game. Again, no surprise to see it go to extra time.
Yeah, I mean, the one before this very well could have gone to overtime as well, and these two teams definitely seem evenly matched. Again, even though Granite's gonna have that advantage with the puck control, with the possession game, it hasn't quite led to the goals. And again, shout out to Provocacia, only allowing 1 goal in this game, 2 in the one previous, with one of those being kind of the broken play goal. Not looking out of place whatsoever on this team or in this elite division, and that's always kind of great to see for goaltenders, jumping up several levels as he's doing right here and having himself one heck of a debut. But we'll see what happens here in this overtime. Granted, all it takes is one shot, and if Färjestad gets that one shot, that they could really make something happen. I think Färjestad is the scariest team, in my opinion, to go up against in overtime setting, because it doesn't matter where if you're dictating the pace of play or getting your chances, it just takes that one little slip, and Färjestad gets in tight.
And there's the chance. Toflin chance again off the pads of Toomborg. Afe from a goal line angle, still able to get that puck on nets. And case in point, you never know where those chances are going to come from.
Yeah, and that was, again, sort of a broken play, but also excellent passing down low. The puck finds Afe at the tough angle and just doesn't quite have enough to get it behind Toonborg.
Furion taking his time. Granite's going to be close in possession. We have a power play coming up, though. FBK going to get called with either interference or a charge. Errant pass here. Toomborg gets it as he was skating to the bench. The extra attacker not able to get on in time. Power play coming up for Granite. It is a charge, and it will be against Fopa Toflin. Sin, no real surprise. He was kind of playing with fire with a couple of those hits.
Yeah, it definitely was, and this is not the time that you want to take it, but that's part of Fopa Toflin's game, the heavy sort of style, very good on defense, can play center. I've seen him play center. Just unfortunate right there, putting his team shorthanded here in the overtime.
Chance here, slap shot and a glove stop by Provocacia. Dangerous chance there from Furion.
He had the space, the lane, surprisingly sort of wide open right there as he backed up into that slot area, rifled it on, unfortunately unable to pick the corner.
Another face-off here. Early stages of this power play, won by FBK, but contested in the corner. Nipsely not able to hold on to it through the double team, but a rare errant pass from Antonio. Not able to get it to Furion. It's the second time that's happened in this game, but again, Still a rare occasion when talking about the former 3 members of FBK. Antonio again has it, dishes it to Furion. Furion looking across, Zovi not able to throw it on. Sebi Larson has it and is able to clear the zone. Great defensive game from Sebi Larson here tonight. Opportunity, puck in the slot. Sebi Larson not able to hold on to it. Kept alive by Lehmanens, who loses it off the side of the net. It is covered by Provocacia with 1 second to go on the power play.
Yeah, so they will have to be shorthanded for this face-off here, which could create some interesting opportunities for both sides here if they are able to get that puck up the ice.
Turned over. Ekin's backhand attempt just doesn't go. Chance here. Zovi, Ekin, Antonio, everyone having a kick at the can, but it's Fopa Toflin able to get it to Mullen now. Great performance on the draws on that kill. Sebi Larson, a little bit of space to work with, gets it to Mullen. Mullen, of course, coming off of a great season as well in terms of point production. Wraparound bit for Fopa Toflin, but Thunborg is there to make the cover.
I want to kind of wind it back because I'm not too sure. I thought I saw the animation come out. I believe Zovi just attempted the Michigan from the side of the net right there to win it when we were back in Färjestad zone. I could be wrong, but it sure looked like that animation coming out from him.
Hope we see that attempt a couple of times this season. Let's see some of the more creative aspects, as inconsistent as they may be. Great battle in the corner. Ekin able to get it to Furion. That shot blocked down. That was Mullen in front. Fopa Toflin, no turnover. Slap shot blocked, and Nipsely comes up with it. Despite being surrounded by 2 members of the opposing side. We are halfway through overtime number 1. There's the quick out. Lehmanens will pick it off. Granit right back in control here. See what they can do. Lehmanens not able to get clean over the line. Sebi Larson tripped. And FBK, Sin, correct me if I'm wrong, will go to the power play for the first time this season.
Yes, the first time. That's the first penalty that Granit has taken. Excellent discipline coming out from them. And here's something that we haven't really talked about yet. Mullen has really been doing well in the faceoffs here in this game. They have a big chance here with an offensive zone draw on the power play. They're in the aggressive set. We'll see what he can do.
Wins it off the draw. Nipsely and Afe, that extra pass just picked off. And a great clear there by Ekin. So a decent start with that early clearance here. Here's Sebi Larson, has a lot of space to work with. Mullen back to Sebi Larson. Over. It's Nipsely. Tried to go back across. Loose puck. And Furion able to get the clear. Ekin able to make a play on it. Cuts into the middle and just couldn't get the backhand clean. Puck still bouncing around, and Sebi Larson able to regroup. Here's Mullen over the blue line. 30 seconds to go on the man advantage, yet to have a shot attempt. Here's Afe. He's tripped as well. Sin will have 22 seconds of 5-on-3.
Yeah, and with the way Mullen's been in the face-off dot, this is a scary prospect for Granit, getting a little rambunctious there with the sticks, a little careless, and they will be 2 men down for a brief amount of time. But again, if Mullen's able to win this face-off, Färjestad is scary with more space like that.
Mullen does win it clean. Nipsely for Sebi Larson. Over from Mullen. Across, and a big stop by Thunborg. Afe keeps it alive. Zovi able to clear as it goes off the skates. We're back to 5-on-4. Nipsely quickly around the back of the net. FBK going to look to put the pressure on. They had a great chance, but Thunborg was able to make the save. Here's Mullen for Sebi Larson. Save, rebound, covered by Thunborg once again.
Yeah, I think Thunborg is ready once again for elite play. What a save off one of the most prolific goal scorers in ECL elite history, and Afe on the doorstep says no.
Afe has it again, not able to hold on to it. Here's Fopa Toflin. Has a couple of options. Goes for Sebi Larson. Cuts back. Mr. Nipsely back for Sebi Larson. What can he do? 25 seconds to go on the man advantage. A cross shot just wide on the far side post. Nipsely holds it in. Sebi Larson pinching in, holding on. Loose puck, Thunborg covers. And with 4:49 to go, we are back to 5-on-5.
Excellent job of penalty killing right there from Granit Gaming and Thunborg. Huge save and good job on the cover right there, but you got to kind of wonder right now how long Mullen's dominance in the faceoff dot will continue. Well, at least for one more.
That shot blocked down. Fopa Toflin has it one more time. Mullen backhand scores! And just like that, FBK get a little bit of revenge They win the second game 2-1 in overtime. The captain Mullen finding the back of the net on the backhand.
Excellent job. I mean, living up to his namesake right there, getting the game-winning goal in overtime, and well-deserved. His work across the ice defensively, whatever you want to say, mostly in the face-off dot. Won every single face-off of that power play to give his team a chance. Won that one to keep that in the zone. Gets rewarded with the goal, just clean skating through. Excellent job on the stick work to pull it to the backhand and able to beat Thunborg right there for the game winner. They do get the split. However, Granit will be walking away with 3 out of 4 points, which for them is going to be, it's got to feel like a really good day.
I mean, Sin, I said it. Between these two teams, you have the natural rivalry built in this season. Those games, I'd say, very much lived up to the hype. And hopefully, that's not the only time we see these two teams play this season. I'm calling it now, boys. Get me a playoff series between you two. I think it would be an absolutely fantastic sight. But you got to look at the stats there, Sin. A very close game, similar to the first one. It was going to be that type of, home-and-home series between these two. Honestly, a bit of a statement there, made by FBK with how defensively solid they were.
Absolutely. I mean, we've seen them kind of be adding that into their game, especially over the past couple seasons, really turning into more of a defensive threat, at times losing some of the offensive threat that they did have before. So it's all about trying to find that balance here as they're going to look to do that in this season and silence the haters out there and show that they are still a playoff caliber team here in the elite. But Granit hopping on, well, not really hopping on the scene, but the rebrand, the new roster hopping onto this scene and making a huge statement. As you said, 3 out of 4 points against a good Färjestad squad. Every team here in Elite is good. There's no real easy matchups, as we've seen time and time again. I mean, you think back to the playoffs when it was Philadelphia taking on, I think it was Northern Ascendancy, dropping 2 games, I want to say, to them. And
right, yeah.
It's no easy task here. There's no easy out, and that's probably one of the best things about ECL Elite, especially as they keep getting more teams involved and the stakes keeps getting higher. Everyone keeps getting better. What an opening to the ECL winter season.
So a big shout out there, for Granite Gaming, Zovi. That first game, his first 2 goals of the season. Thunborg as well, upon his return. Strong performance. I have to give all the credit in the world again to Provocacia. I thought that was a fantastic performance, replacing McSavid on short notice, and only gives up 3 goals to a Granite offense that has some phenomenal firepower and offensive force behind them. So a great performance for him as well. Again, those are just the first 2 games of this broadcast, the opening broadcast of our new season here, the winter season of ECL 22. We have 2 more games coming up for you in just a few moments. After a brief break, it will be Havu Gaming, former champions, certainly looking to be on the warpath this season and get back into contention after falling short and only making it to the semifinals last year. They will be taking on Goons, another team with certainly having championship aspirations this season, and they made a gigantic addition to their roster that I cannot wait to talk a little bit more about. So we'll be back after a few brief moments. Stick with us. Again, Havu and Goons coming up in just a few moments.